Sup peeps, my name's Ian. I sell books on eBay. Welcome back to the channel. Bundles of books. I've got a few orders going out today, about a dozen so far on day 21 of selling books on eBay, and now a little bit of Vinted hopefully. I've got a few of them to show you just now, and then I need to go and pick the rest, and I'll come back and share that lot with you in a little while. And there might even have been more orders, who knows? You just never know with eBay what we're going to get to show you. It might be one thing, might be 20 things. It's just, don't know. Seemed to be a bit of an issue with the audio yesterday, which the wee Chromebook that I can do my very basic editing on, is the sound quality on it's so rubbish that it's really difficult to tell whether or not the mic and everything has worked as you expected, so I never actually know that until everything's uploaded to YouTube. But yeah, something went amiss yesterday. It seemed to have decided that it no longer recognised this and was picking me up just on the wee laptop's microphone, which is a bit rubbish, to be honest. So I'm hoping I've got that sorted. It seems to be working at the moment, and it should continue to do so. Anyway, let's look at some orders, because that's possibly maybe why you're here. What do we have first? First we have a bundle of books. A bundle of, I think we'd call it women's literature, but it's not. It's really just books written by women, which is slightly different, I suppose. Thrillers. All thrillers. $12.99. They're all wrapped up, so it's difficult to show you what they are, but $12.99 for 5 little thrillers. Then for, let's get to it, $14.99 we've got a Collins No. 3 RSV Clear Type Bible in slipcase, which is this. Gives you all the details in the end. These sell for alright money when you find them. Don't find them very often, and they don't sell very often, but when they do, I mean, 15 quid, that's not bad at all. So thank you whoever bought that. What else have we got? Oh, we've got a wee graphic novel, which is City at War, a bit of Spider-Man going on there, and that sold for $8.99. Put that one in that pile too. Followed by $9.99 from 1974. That's the year I was born. Ages away, isn't it? Beyond Good and Evil. It's a Penguins classic. Friedrich Nietzsche. There we go. A wee vintage Penguins classic. It's in pretty good nick, all things considered. Yeah, $9.99. So single book sales, but they've all been not bad today. Then another single book sale for £12.46. As I say, these haven't been bad at all. S1 to Nat 4 Chemistry student book. So again, it's Scottish education stuff. It's a big chunky one, this. You know, it's going to take somebody all the way through their first kind of 3 years at school. And £12.46. So again, nice little single book sale. And that leaves me with one more that I can show you just now, and then I'll need to go and get the rest. And that is for £15.99. I was about to say Assassin's Creed, but it's not. It's the Farseer trilogy. So, what's the first one called again? Assassin's Apprentice. Yes. So, the Farseer trilogy by Robin Hobb. Books I hear a lot about, but for some reason I'm not interested in reading them at all. They seem a bit oldie, epic-y fantasy, which means for me, I'm not going to like them. Maybe I will, maybe I won't, but I've got no intention of picking them up and reading them myself at the moment. But we do have these 3 books. First Year Trilogy by Robin Hobb for, what did I say, $16.99. So another nice little sale. Definitely a better day of sales on eBay. Still not great. It's still below where I need it to be. But that's been a couple of better, although not great days in a row. So if that can continue and get the pace going again as the year progresses, then we might be all right. But still really wary of it dropping way off again. So anyone who has gone to the store, bundles of books, and bought a book. Thank you very much. A couple of people have been asking what the store name is, etc. It is Bundles of Books. There is a link for it in the description of each video. I'm pretty sure there is. I'll double check before I upload today. Initially we were Rancid Gonzo. Favourite band, favourite Muppet. That's how you do it. So it can be found that way too. But Bundles of Books should be a link in the description and you can go and check us out there. But getting away from eBay, we have had another Vinted sale. Only the one yesterday. But we sold the Satsuma Complex by Bob Mortimer. Avik. For £1. So I did say I was going to put a load onto Vintage yesterday and just see how that worked out. The idea was spend a couple of hours just getting stuff listed, see what can be done in that chunk of time. Excuse me, throat's all drying up there. And then that would give me an idea of what I really needed to focus on in listing stuff on Vinted. What happened was, after about 50 minutes, I fell asleep where I was sitting. I don't know how that's possible when you're listing stuff, but it's so boring. Make sure you're well rested, or you've had a good strong coffee or something to keep your eyes open in these things. But when you get into that process where you just don't need to think anymore because you're just going through the motions, and I just went boomf. So in that 50 minutes I got about 40 books. I think it was 42 books listed, so that's not bad. I'm going to assume I can do about 50 an hour, so in a couple of hours we'd get 100 books up, which is potentially £50-60 profit if they were all to sell straight away. So it's not far above minimum wage doing it that way, but once there's more of a chunk on there, that time is spent, that time is done, and it's just profit after the fact. Plus, similar to eBay, once you've created a listing, although it's not the same as you're able to put in your multiples and all the rest, if I do have multiple copies of a book, then all I need to do is go in and relist that original listing, it would seem, so that I can keep that going, which will obviously speed up the process once I get to that stage. But it always takes a lot of graft getting to a point where you can sustain it. I do know that. It's the same on everything you do. So yeah, quite happy. Another wee one sale out, and I've got a chunk more. I'll try and get another hour or two of Vinted listing done today and get somewhere between 50 and 100 of the blighters up and running. But for now, I'm going to get these few wee orders packed up, head to Royal Mail, drop that lot off, jump into the storage units, pick the orders that are there, come back and tell you all about them. So I'll see you very, 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 very soon. I'm back and I'm a bit annoyed with myself. I've just been picked up the half dozen or so orders that I had to get, and then I got distracted because I was picking a Nora Roberts book and I noticed that I had a set of Nora Roberts sitting there that weren't listed as a set because they usually sell quite well. So I grabbed them, piled them up, and in the excitement of finding them, two other books that I had picked to bring back, I'd sat down on top of a box and then forgot to pick back up again. So I've got two books missing from two orders that I will need to go out and grab again. I'm going back to drop some more stuff off at the units this afternoon, so it's not that big a deal. It's just a bit annoying, that's all. You know, schoolboy error. Anyway, let's look at what we've got, and I can tell you all about it as we go along. Anywho. Okay, here's one of the orders where I forgot to pick up one of the books. Very annoying. 3 Irvine Welsh paperbacks, Skag Boys, Porno, and Filth. So I need to go and grab the filth that I have left lying in my storage unit. 3 of them, 3 for 2. So what was that? That was £9.99ish, thereabouts. £9.69. There we go, £9.69 for the 3 Irvine Welsh books. So, if I had actually picked them, that would have been great. Next, we've got the Nora Roberts book I was talking about, and it sold for £3.99. It's just a wee Nora all on her loner. Next we've got, this is a double up order, so that's, to be honest, I couldn't tell you exactly what these are because I'd need to go in and work it out, but about £20 for Janice Hallett triple pack and Victoria Hislop triple bundle. So Alperton Angels, Twyford Code, The Appeal, kind of cosy crime books, and Victoria Hislop, a couple of hardcovers and a paperback. And they are going to the old parasol lady. That sounds ridiculous. They're going to Parasol Lady. Susan, thank you so much for coming and shopping at Bundles of Books. Really appreciate the support. It's fantastic to see you guys coming and picking up the odd little deal. Greatly appreciated. So they'll be on their way to you very, very soon. Right, next, the other order that I did not pick, well, picked and then left sitting. We've got a Thomas Wharton and The Cat Who Caught a Killer by L.T. Shearer. The two of them have sold for £11.58. So they'll be heading off very shortly as well. Once I've gone back to the unit and along with the Irvine Welsh book, grabbed The Cat Who Caught a Killer. Two books just sat there all on their own. Really, really annoyed. So annoying when I do that. It happens far too often. That's the worrying part. Next we have got some Katie Ford, which sold for £19.95. But that's because there's 7 of them. So 7 Katie Ford paperbacks, £19.95. So that's a nice little bundle. It will cost me £6 to post them, but when a bundle's going out that size, I'm more than happy to do it. For obvious reasons, it's making me money. And that should leave us with 3 Sarah Morgans, again, pretty bog standard, paperback backs, and they've sold for, I think it was £9.99. Let's have a wee look. £10.09 for the 3 paperbacks from Sarah Morgan. So those are today's orders that I need to get packed and out, and obviously go and grab from the flaming unit, even though I've already been there. Beyond that, what we've got to do today, we've got to, just had another reorder come in. Let's see what it is. Anything exciting? Oh, it is. It's not really, but I shan't share just now. Oh, that's a good point, because I've got 2 of those. Yeah, so another couple of sales. They're just about £7 each, but you'll see them at a later point. So what else have I got to do today? I have got some more Vinted listing that I want to get done. I'm going to try and keep up a regular pace and just keep adding to that and see where it begins to get some traction. I've got some eBay listing to do, not an awful lot. I've got a lot of single books to go into my multi-listings. Typically I wait until I've got a few by an author and then go in and do it all in one go, because it's much more time effective, but they're beginning to stack up and take up a bit of unnecessary space, so I just want to get them listed and dropped off at storage and clear a little room. When I get so many single books stacked up, they begin to hide each other, and it makes it difficult to actually go in and sort through which I've got by different authors. I cannot wait till I get to a point where I can get loads of space, because just to keep it organised, not so much storage, it's the organisation space that I really, really crave. Yeah, get that done. So get my Vinted books listed. Some good tips on the old Vinted. TikTok books, books with sprayed edges, something that are a little bit special and appeal to a particular demographic, seem to be going better on Vinted than others, according to your your comments. So I've picked out a few of those that I've got lying about, and I'm going to get them listed up and see how they go. See if I can get some more quick sales just scuttling through on the old Vinted platform. Then, as I said, my eBay listings, lots of single books just to get added to listings. It's still pretty quick to do it, even if you're only adding one book. But it's much more satisfying when you've got 10 to add and you can do it in 2 minutes and you've added 30, 40 quid in value to your listing. But I enjoy that much, much more. I don't have any biggies to get listed at the moment. I've usually got a wee stack of kind of half decent stuff just to list up on eBay to keep that ticking over, but there's really not much I've got just now. A few bundles that I could get listed, but again, they're not really high value bundles. I mean, the Nora Roberts that I spoke about before, so it's the Concannon Sisters trilogy. They're all in pretty good condition. They're all the same editions. So I see I will get likes of those listed up, but it's a tenner. It's nothing spectacular. And I've got a wee stack of Julia Donaldson to deal with as well. Will I be doing a pickup this week? I do not know. Potentially tomorrow I can go and grab 50 books, 300 books, who knows what there would be there. But I have to wait and see if I get another half decent day of sales today. If I do, then I might risk going and picking up some books. If I don't, then I won't, because I now need to be banking everything up to the end of the month to pay the staff wages, i.e. me, and make sure that we can keep going forward with what we've got. Things have been so slow, right? This is my measure, another measure of how slow things have been. I haven't bought packaging since middle of December. So typically it would be a couple of rolls of bubble wrap every week and a half to 2 weeks. It would be a bag of 100 plastic mailers every week to week and a half. Every month I buy like 200 small plastic things from eBay because you get a voucher from them, so I use that, so it works out very cheap. Padded envelopes every couple of weeks, a box of 100, and I have bought nothing. For the middle of December, I got in some of my grey mailers, so that's those ones. I use a lot of these, and a couple of rolls of bubble wrap. I have just gone into the final roll of bubble wrap, and I've still got 70 or 80 of those grey mailers sitting. So things have been so slow that I'm not even getting through the packaging. So that's a clear indication that things have slowed down. I've gone through half of what I would typically go through. The wee eBay bags that I buy, these ones. So I say usually about 200 a month. I got a load of those at the start of November, and I've still got over 100 of them left. So way down on that one. So much so that I actually ordered some different stuff from eBay with the voucher this month. You know, eBay's equivalent of the grey ones. So it's another measure that lets you see how slow things have gone. Yeah. So, you know, when any bit of any business slows down, that's the kind of knock-on impact everything has. If people sell stuff on eBay or Vinted or mail order, whatever it is, then they need things like packaging supplies. If they're not selling stuff, then they need less packaging supplies. So the packaging supplies companies don't sell as much, so potentially have to push up their prices to make sure that they can still turn a profit that will keep their business going. If they're not buying as much from the people who make it, if they don't make it, then that has a knock-on effect there. It's you know, one downturn anywhere in the economy, it's not just that one sector, that one area that gets impacted. It has that crazy knock-on effect, which we all know, we all understand how that works. But it's just, you know, it's kind of reminded me again that we all rely on each other to keep everything ticking over and keep it all moving. If I'm not selling books, then I'm not going to buy books. And most of my books I buy from charities. So that's a couple of £100 a week less going into the charities. But I'm just one person. Scale that up across everyone who does that, and that's potentially a lot less money going into the charities via the shops. Maybe it's a drop in the ocean compared to what their total incomes is. But I know some of the wee shops I go into, and I have a chat with them. I like to know how they're getting on and what's happening with their shop businesses. And their daily take can be £100, £150. So if I go in and spend £60 to £100, that's a significant part of their weekly, fortnightly income, depending on how often I go into that particular place. So if there's others that are in the same boat and we're not selling stuff because stuff ain't selling, then it really does knock on all the way down the line, which is a shame. So I do try and keep buying at the same rate, even when I'm not selling at the same rate, because all throughout it goes up and it goes down. You have a good week, you have a bad week, you have a couple of bad weeks, you have a couple of good weeks. But the last nearly 4 weeks now have been so bad that I'm now really having to think hard about whether or not I can continue to keep buying stock at the same rate that I typically do. I've already pulled back on it a little bit, and I think this week, I say, unless get a good day today, what I have had as an average day, if I can hit an average day today, then I can get stock this week. If I don't, it's not happening. I'm going to have to pull back on that one. So yes, all of these things just keep churning and churning through. I'm just blethering now. I'm in comments. There was a couple of comments come in on the channel that I thought I would just mention and potentially discuss. So what have we got? Leo, cheers. Then Loopy from Australia. I see Ian Rankin around a lot, but the sell-through rate is so low I don't bother picking them up. Economics here in Australia is somewhat different though, as postage is a lot more expensive. Yeah, the postage bit is always going to be an issue. If somebody's having to pay twice as much as we would here in the UK to get the same value cheap book, it makes it very, very difficult. But if you're looking at things like Ian Rankin, I don't know how popular Ian Rankin is in Australia. He's a Scottish author. I don't know how far that popularity goes, although I'd imagine he still has some footing. If you're seeing lots of those books and they're cheap, look at how you can bundle them. So although the sell-through rate for one book, there's a Val McDermott, the lady version of Ian Rankin, one Val McDermott book might have a slow sell-through rate because there's 500 listed and only 10 have sold in the last 90 days or whatever, and they sell for £3-4, so would that be £7-8 Australian dollars, then it's not going to be worth filling up your shelves with them. But if you want to get away from that sell-through rate and you can find 4, 5, 6 Val McDermott books, again, shipping here that I use, obviously I've got quite definite cut-off points in weight, so 2 kilograms, 10 kilograms, so on and so forth. So depending on how your shipping and value works there, then you create a product, you create an offer that nobody else is selling, and that would be that bundle of Val McDermott books or Ian Rankin books, because that's what we were talking about. And then that sell-through rate really doesn't mean the same thing, because you have created an exclusive one-off product, and that's what you're putting out there. So, make sure your titles are good and all the rest of it, and that could make it worthwhile picking up those books. So if you see a lot of Ian Rankin and they're cheap, then it might be worth having a wee dabble. Probably something you've already tried in the past, I don't know, but that's certainly a way of approaching it, so that if you're, my Ian Rankin books I'll get for 25p each. So if I can pick up 6 of them, it's going to cost me £1.50, which is what, about $3 Australian. So if I can sell them for £10, £11, £12, £3-4 of that's going to be my shipping costs. £1 to buy them, £1.50 to buy them, a couple of pound in eBay fees, so I'm still going to make, £3 or £4 on that order. Is that worth your while? That's still a question you have to ask and decide for yourself. But certainly, just because something as an individual title has a low sell-through rate, it doesn't mean it's not worth grabbing. And those with low sell-through rates, if you've got enough of them and you do it right, you can overcome that within your own listing as well, even if you're selling them singly. Jenny, please do. What was this? Tina, have you thought about bringing back your books and getting rid of your container expenses? Yeah. First of all, thanks for watching. Yes, I think about everything that's going to save me money. £260 a month on container expenses. It's not cheap. You can get them cheaper, that's for sure, but these ones are incredibly convenient. I say 2 shipping containers with the books, even to empty one of them back into the house, it's physically impossible. It's not going to happen. I just couldn't do that now. I could possibly just cram everything floor to ceiling into one container and get rid of one of them, but then I wouldn't be able to access anything other than the very front bit, so it's not something feasible to do. I did take them out so that I could try and grow and expand the business. Unfortunately, sales have contracted, although available stock has increased. There are hundreds of books in those containers that I have just been buying and stacking up for when I move into a slightly different area to sell them. And at the same time, I have filled up even more shelves and storage units here at home with pre-made bundles and bits and pieces, the higher value things that I have got. So I haven't actually made much more room in the house yet, which is really annoying because I really need to get it sorted out. And at the same time, I've filled 2 shipping containers. So am I buying too much stuff? Yes, I know I am, but I do have a reason for that, which hopefully in the next few months we'll be able to show you when I make use of it. So it would be great to be able to cut back costs anywhere, but it's just not feasible for bringing them all in. I had trouble finding your eBay. It showed loads of sites selling books. Margaret, first of all, again, thanks for watching. Thanks for being part of the community. Thanks for your support. There are thousands and thousands of booksellers. There is, I think I mentioned this earlier on, there's usually a link in the description for my eBay store, so if anybody's interested, they can get into it there. It's very difficult if people are searching for a seller, unless they put in exactly who you are, it's difficult to kind of get to the top of any listing there. eBay doesn't seem to be set up very well that way. If I am wrong about that, please tell me. Sue, you had the same problem. Yeah, so searching for a seller, if you're doing it just on your phone, if you start typing in the seller's name, it'll give you the option to search by the seller, usually. If you're doing it through the desktop, then it's like through advanced search and such, like as Tales from the Blaside has pointed out in the comments there. It's annoying. I do have about 1,700 followers, I think, so people who have favorited the shop. So if you find me, favourite it, and then it'll be in your favourites listings, and you won't find it difficult to come back to me, which will be good. And where we go, Loopy. So this is me complaining about my sales, which I do an awful lot of, isn't it? Since you live in Scotland and it's the middle of the dark winter, everyone's depressed and no one wants to buy anything. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely an issue. January is a bit of a depressed month, emotionally, economically, and all of these things here in the UK, and I'm sure in many, many other places. But you're right, I've been doing this for a wee while, not years and years and years, but I've been doing it for a wee while, and based on all previous experience, this has still been a slow month. slower than what would have been expected. So yeah, it's cold, it's dark, it's miserable. Everyone's emotionally and economically depressed. But that's why they should buy a good book to cheer themselves up. Or make them even more depressed, depending on what they get. Oh, there's another one for Vintage Success craft books. I've actually got a few of those. I might try them. Oh yes, and finally, nearly at 2,000 subscribers. Get in. I think we're at 1992. 1992. That was a good year. I enjoyed 1992, I have to say. 17, going on 18. That was a bit of fun. Also incredibly hard. But at the same time, yeah, 1992, that was a good year. So 8 subscribers away from the 2,000, which is crazy. I really never thought that was somewhere I would get with this channel. Started it just so I'd have somebody to talk to whilst I was working, since I was then working on my own. And nearly 2,000 subscribers, which is just crazy. 500 plus views on nearly every video, which, again, it's a drop in the ocean compared to many other channels. But to think me sitting here talking this mince for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour, whatever it is, and 500 of you are clicking on it to hear what I've got to say is incredible. It's mind-bending. Really, I do appreciate the support. And let's see if we can keep it going. So this has been day 21. Tomorrow will be day 22. And let's see if we can get all the way to 365 without a break. That could be challenging, just depending on what else I need to do through the year, but we'll keep it going one way or another. Anyway, I'm going to stop blethering just now. I'm going to go and do some work. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, do all these things that mean a great deal to the channel. Really help get it pushed out to a few more people. It was one of the stats I was looking at. What was it? Sorry, this is me just going back. I'm saying I'm finishing up, and then suddenly I'm all the way back again. Does it tell me something here? Yes. So in the last 28 days, YouTube has given me 293,000 impressions. So 293,000 opportunities for people to click in the video. Of that, 22,500 people have. So I don't know if that's a good click-through rate or not. It seems to be pretty average. So comments, likes, subscribing, all of these things increase the number of impressions that YouTube would put out there. So if they were to give me 500,000 impressions in a month, then potentially that could be 40 to 50,000 views in the month, getting out to even more people, which would be crazy. We'll just have to wait and see. So yes, anyway, enough is enough. Thank you all so much again for joining me today, and I shall see you tomorrow.